We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow. Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers. Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com, and of course, SideScrollersPodcast.com. We are cleaned up, ready to go with a fresh new haircut. I am Stuttering Craig. Good to see you guys. Welcome out. It's a good Tuesday to you. We got a big show for you guys lined up. Hello, Blabs. Great to see you.
Hello. I didn't get a haircut, but you did.
I know. I feel good about it, too.
Suits you. It's a lot better. Although I still don't like the glasses. I'm sorry. I don't know who picked them for you, but it was wrong.
My wife said she likes me in them, all right? That's the most
important
thing.
That's all that matters.
That's right. That's right.
I still think it's wrong. And most of the internet does, too.
What do you want from me? Don't call me Rachel. You call me Rachel Maddow. Do it. Do it. Go ahead.
Rachel. I'm going to rename you. Instead of Craig, it's called Rachel.
Listen, do it. It's fine.
Okay.
Well, look, we're glad to be hanging out with you guys today. Rachel is here, as well as Blabs. Joining us today on this wonderful Tuesday, the amazing Wicked Virtue. How are you?
Hi. I like the glasses, Craig. I think they make you look smarter.
Well, let's see. I appreciate
You can only
that.
go up.
That's right. You know, when you start here, anything you can do to boost at least the perceived IQ, because a lot of the internet does think I'm just an absolute bumbling fool, which they may be correct. So, you know. Well, how are you? How's everything going?
I'm great. I'm going good. Everything's going good. Glad to be back.
I learned something pre-show, guys, that Wicked and Blabs have some sort of like weird cup fetish that they like to share with each other prior to shows.
This is the years in the making, okay? It's tradition.
I know what Blabs likes, okay? And it's mugs.
Only from Wicked, though.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if Shagsworth likes jugs too. You like jugs?
Jugs? Yeah. I like mugs. I like mugs as well. Greg,
mugs,
you may be a bumbling fool, but you're our bumbling fool. All right.
Hey, thanks, Shags. Appreciate it.
Love you, man. It's great to be back here.
Hey,
no homo.
Glad you're here.
All homo.
Your thoughts on the glasses? Are they all right?
You look spectacular. Don't let anyone else tell you different. All right. You look spectacular.
You hear that, Blabs? You're in the minority.
Okay. It's all right. I'm always the minority.
Well, look, we have a very diverse cast today on the show today. We are equal men and women, almost like the video game industry tells us gamers are. 50% men, 50% women, which is a blatant lie because we all know that Blabs is a man. With that said,
yes, big balls,
giant. Big balls.
I need a wheelbarrow to lug them around.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Well, look, we do have a big show lined up today. The internet has given us all of the stuff to talk about, including Activision. We're going to go big on DEI today because some companies are abandoning it with the quotations, and some are saying no, we're all in on it. And Activision is one of those companies, as well as one of their employees saying something that I don't even think is like they should be fired immediately. And as a matter of fact, we're going to talk. We'll get to that a little bit. We got Ubisoft news because god damn Ubisoft, what the hell are you doing? We're going to get to that a little bit. If you missed the thumbnail today, that tells you everything you need to know. We have an old favorite coming back. Sega has renewed a trademark for a classic franchise, which we'll see if that comes in. And we got some big news coming out of Phil Spencer and our boy Destin Legary. We didn't get to yesterday before we ended the show yesterday. So we got a lot going on today. I'm glad you guys are here with us. Obviously, you can find Shag's information and Wicked's information down below, so you can guys go check out their channels. We encourage you guys to do that as well, because as we grow, everybody should grow. I think that's the great philosophy of this show is that we are not in competition with anybody except everybody. Just kidding. With that said, let's get into it today. We have a lot to talk about. So we're live over on Rumble, X, and of course Instagram, right, Blabs?
Yeah, so follow us over there for memes and clips of the show. Otherwise, Craig's gonna call you all bitches.
I call you all bitches anyways.
Oh, I was trying to give an incentive, but you just gave it away, so never mind.
No. Listen, all you bitches, go to Instagram and follow us over there.
Right.
All right. And all you bitches, go over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and go watch the show over there, which is great if you don't want to watch it live. But most importantly, all you bitches, go to sidescrollerspodcast.com, make a free account. Go do that. And that'd be great. And of course, if you want to support over there, we'd greatly appreciate that. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff coming up starting in February. And of course, the most thing, all you bitches here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, join the 115,000 just normal men, and hit the thumbs up button. We are currently sitting at 1,116 concurrent viewers, a meager 246 thumbs up. That's rookie numbers. So when you guys pop in, hit that thumbs up button, and let's keep rolling, baby. With that said, let's get into it, Blabs. It's I want to hear about today in gaming history. What do we got?
Okie dokies, everybody. January 28th, we have Final Fantasy Tactics, released in 1998. We have Tekken Advance, released in 2002. And then we have Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, releasing 3 years ago today in 2022. Ta-da!
Tekken Advance for the Game Boy. Okay. All right. You guys played any of those games, Shags, Wicked? You ever played those before?
No, but the tactics game is an interesting story because when I was a kid in 1998, I actually tried to convince my mom to get me that game. I said, "This is the game I got to get," and you're supposed to get it because it's supposed to teach you how to play these games, Mom. And the funniest part is I watch my son try and convince me to buy him games now, and he does the same exact thing. So small little side story, but yeah.
It's amazing how that works out, right? You see yourself and your kids and your kids and your kids and you, like it's really weird. I have a daughter, my youngest daughter. I say this all the time. She is more or less me when I was 25 years old. It really sucks and I hate it.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I've played the Uncharted games.
Yeah.
Not Tekken for the Game Boy, but I'm trying to think, probably for the PlayStation.
Right.
So, but yeah, I love Tekken. I love fighter games like that. The Street Fighter, Tekken. Sign me up.
Tekken, I'm sure on the GBA. I have not seen gameplay of that, but I'm sure it was like one of those turned into probably a 2D game. Like probably wasn't a good 3D game on the Game Boy Advance. I'm just throwing it out there.
Probably not.
Some noticeable games that you did miss today, Blabs. 31 years ago, Ninja Warriors was released for the Super Nintendo.
But in Japan.
Yeah. But, then it would say Super Famicom. But, yes, for the Ninja Warriors saw a remake, re-release, or like a sequel, spiritual sequel or whatever, a couple of years ago where they brought it into like full HD. It was pretty cool. Digimon World for the PlayStation over here. We saw Oni for the PC. And Resonance of Fate, let's go, for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 right there. No overtly sexual games today, Blabs.
I actually do want to talk about one of those today, though, and I put it in the document. Yesterday, I played a game called Nunholy. I was gifted it on Steam because it was on sale. It's basically a roguelike game, but dude, it's so freaking fun. And yes, men, there are hot women and boobies everywhere. So basically, you can pick as 3 different characters. And I picked the middle one named Marie, and she's very voluptuous, and she throws fire grenades. 10 on 10. We'll play again.
Should have got your breath on that one. Fire grenades.
I love fire grenades, bro. Pyrotechnics in games, my favorite thing. I just lob grenades everywhere, left and right. It's so much fun. Honestly, guys, it's support indie games. Go play that one. It's really fun.
Are you you're the noob tuber in Call of Duty? In like the old Call of Duty games, you're the one who would have the loadout of like 3 noob tubes where you're just sitting on one side of the map and just tossing these noob tubes to the other side and getting kills. That's you.
I mean, no, but yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I really like grenades, okay?
The noob tube, those who know. The noob tube in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I think it was Modern Warfare 2. I mean, Shags, you're shaking your head. You know what's going on with the noob tube.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I've thrown many a controller through my television screen because of it.
Yeah, it was. I see the chat going. That's a very viable tactic. That's right. There you go, Vito. It's very viable. The noob tube. It was, man. I need to play some Call of Duty with the noob tube again. Bring that back. Well, we're off to a great start
Isn't there
today.
like a new season like today of Call of Duty?
I don't
Isn't
know.
there? I think
don't
there
know.
is.
Yeah. Maybe you could do a little digging on that. Find out.
I'm pretty sure it is. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, Lexi Icefox came in as a brand new member. Hey, that's spectacular. Thank you very much for that. Genuinely appreciate that. That is excellent. Also, Ian came in and gifted 10 memberships to the channel. That's awesome. Ian.
Memberships.
Yeah, memberships. Sorry. Thanks, Ian. Hey, thank you very much for that. Appreciate that greatly. I believe Kirsha. That's right. There's Kirsha hanging out with you in the background with the wonderful jiggle there for those 10 gifted. That's great. Thank you, Kirsha, for popping in and letting everybody know.
I was right. It's today. New season
good.
of Black Ops.
Good. Commodore fan says, I've Tekken Advance. It's far too easy. Means you're just too damn good, Commodore fan. Thank you. And Gear came in with our first yellow super chat. Our goal, as always, is to get to 20 for Montez. As Gear came in and says, evening. I heard about the news regarding that virtue signaling of a developer from Nightmare Kart. Why don't give the award to Tokyo Extreme Racer 2025 instead? It's better than Assassin's Creed Shadows. No, because they won the award. They're going to get the fucking award. I don't know if you guys caught that news, but one of the winners of the Real Game Awards, they wanted me to denounce the award, take it back, because they see us as problematic. And I don't know. Did you see that, Shags?
I did.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting story, to say the least. And it really kind of, I'd say, shed a lot of light in the broken mentality of these folks. So,
yeah.
Would you, if you ever won something like that, would you just, I don't know, how would you respond? Let's say the like the most evil, vile award show. Not saying that the Real Game Awards is, but this is how they perceive us, right? They perceive us as evil and all these things, when in reality, like, we're just common sense people like the rest of the world. But let's just say, like, the ultimate death puppy award show gave you, Shags, an award for best puppy killer. Would you accept that award, or would you push it away?
Well, that one seems, I don't know if I'd want to accept that award, but like, I guess if we were to reframe it, it's like,
that's true. I mean, I guess I did go a little bit over the top on that. Right,
well,
right.
Just frame it as like, if Jeff Keighley came out and said, I want to give you this game that you've been working on, I want to award you for this game, I would say, this is awesome. I don't particularly care for their format and what they've been doing over the years, but I'm flattered that the industry thinks that what I'm doing is worth some value. And even more so, I think it's even more flattery, because we're a much smaller group of people, obviously real gamers that are trying to vote on this stuff. Like, why wouldn't you like step outside of that ideology and look at everything and be like, wow, people who aren't like big in the industry have found my game, they really enjoy it, and they want to honor me for that. That's great. You don't have to like people for what they're, for every little bit of them, but some people do good things occasionally, like, and this goes to show, I think, that what you guys are doing is it's going the right direction. You're ruffling the right feathers, and you're showing people like, hey, we just want to honor good games that we like. And now these people don't want to actually like take the award. Like, I don't know. It's weird to me.
It's weird to everybody.
Yeah.
Literally everybody. Hey, guess what? Harriet Tubman also in the chat. Blabs.
Oh, God.
Oh, goody Tubby for 5 says, who you calling bitch, white boy? I'll take the axe to you, tree man. Gang, Tubbs out.
Thank you, Harriet.
Avatar.
Yeah, it's Tubby.
I appreciate that, Harriet. Good luck. Hey, Jeremy is a brand new member. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Appreciate that. We got a nice little member run going on right now. Look at this. And Shane Bentley for 50 says, actually, Blabs, I think Craig looks like an autistic G.I. Jane with with military issued BC glasses. I don't know. BC stands for birth control. # sent with love. Hey, appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
His name's Jane now.
Autistic GI Jane. All right, that's cool. That's nice. Ian came in and says Craig takes off his hat and now he's talking about puppy smashing. I did kind of went a little too far with that one, didn't I? And DB Wild says just a quick shout out to the normal men and women of the world. A hearty how do to Craig? I guess how do you do to Craig Blabs and some extra howdies to Wicked and Shags. Remember, Shags, I'm not a flat earther. I'm a fat earther.
I know.
Let's go.
Thanks.
Sounds very American, fat earther.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. Hard News. You know, before we do get into it, I did actually want to point out something. I tweeted, actually, I didn't know Phoenix was going to put this out there, but he did. So, hey, whatever, we're there. We have a new member of our team who'll be joining us next week, which is very exciting. You won't see them, but behind the scenes. But the goal is to improve the show and improve things that are happening on the channel. So we, if you recall, a few weeks ago, we had this guy, Phoenix, on the back end, and he made wonderful things like Montez. He's officially joining the team. So big ups to Panda Sub 2000. That's Phoenix, super talented guy joining the team, and very excited to have Phoenix joining. Just a heads up. So he'll be joining officially next week. So awesome. Very, very good stuff. All right, let's get into the stuff. I look, Blabs likes to pop things at the top of the run sheet that I don't see, and I just have to react to. And when I say pop, it actually lines up pretty good with this. There's the old saying for Pringles is once you pop, you can't stop. Do you guys remember that saying?
Yep.
Yeah, wasn't it once you pop, the fun don't stop, something like that?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Sure.
What's your favorite Pringles? Do you guys like Pringles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had a Pringle in a while. It used to be a go-to snack for the beach because it'd be harder for the sand to get in. My mom would always just get the original ones. So that's what I liked, just the original ones.
Blabs, you got a favorite Pringle?
I mean, listen, all Pringles taste good, but they're absolutely filled with garbage, so I just don't eat them. But I like them all.
Well, I'll tell you what. This one you probably won't like, as Pringles
Definitely
has announced
not.
a new limited edition Pringle called Beer Can Chicken.
Ew.
That actually sounds pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, listen, here's the thing.
I would try it.
I can't do this with Shags if he's going to be in here talking about beer can chicken Pringles being good.
Give him $10 to try it on stream.
$10
Locals exclusive.
Shags, hey, great to have you back, buddy. What'd you say?
Those, I'm standing my ground. Those.
All right, sounds great. No, I'm just kidding, Shag. Seriously. Have you ever had beer can chicken before?
Yeah.
It's delicious. Beer can chicken. Yeah.
Tell me about
Very
it.
good.
Maybe because I'm just hearing beer and chicken in one thing, and I've never had this beer can chicken. What is it?
Well, you cook the chicken basically. It's like a rotisserie chicken with a beer can in it. My mom made it before, and I've only had it once that I can recall, and it was very good, very tender. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. I didn't think that the beer really made that much of I didn't think it would make a difference, but it did. You don't taste it or anything. It's just it's tasty. I like it. I suggest everyone try it.
This is a very important question. Is there actual beer in it, or you just put the beer can in it?
Oh, there's actually beer. Yeah.
The alcohol cooks out of it. Like you're not going to get drunk from eating it.
Well, not with one beer, but
true. I don't know. There's some men out there who can't handle. Yeah.
Some men who can't handle that shit.
You need the light beer.
Yeah.
So you're actually intrigued by this idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I'm down to try something new. I'm down to get weird.
All right.
He's down to get freaky. You heard it first.
Well established from Shags over here. It's good. Question. Okay. New poll, Blabs. Beer can chicken. Yes or no? Blabs, you're shaking your head. You have no interest in this.
Ew, no, hell no. Gross.
Well,
why would I want to eat chicken in a can?
Oh, I have had chicken in a can.
Well, no, like that, like from Costco is a whole other thing than a chip. You know?
Yeah. Like I prefer to have my meat not in not in chip form.
You like your meat, huh?
If that makes
It's
sense.
just innuendos here, huh?
So I did a little more digging here, Blabs, on this article that you sent out. There's actually a full list of new Pringles that are coming. Would you like to hear this list of Pringles? And we
Yeah,
can vote
alright.
yay or nay. Okay. Here we go. First one, Pringles Mingles. It's a light and crispy outside with a melt in your mouth inside that creates a new craveable snack experience with insanely good flavor mashups available in cheddar and sour cream and sharp white cheddar and ranch. So I guess it's a new type of Pringle where they're something on the outside and on the inside. Thoughts on
The
that?
double stuffed Oreo.
It does kind of give off that vibe.
It
doesn't
does. I don't know
Yeah.
if I like my chips to just be crispy.
Yeah,
That's
I hear
it.
you on that.
Yeah. I don't know if I want the soft inside. No, thanks.
All right, we have Pringles Hot Ones. A limited edition Pringles Hot One packs a fiery burn of internet sensation Hot Ones in every bite. Available in Los Calientes Roja and Los Calientes Verdes. So it's like spicy chip.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
I like
Hey, look,
spicy.
$4.19. I was right. We give Shags $10 to try it on stream,
There we
and
go.
he makes $6 off of it.
I'm down.
What a
I'll do
deal!
it.
Not after YouTube takes their cut.
All right, awesome.
Pringles chili cheese fries.
Ooh.
Kind of intrigued by that one.
Yeah,
Kind of.
I mess with
mean,
that.
Yeah, it's like potato, right? Fries or potato chips.
I would
Yeah.
try that one over
try
the
it.
chicken.
Here's the winner of the whole thing. Pringles Everything Bagel. My
Yeah.
God, it's the
Yep.
best.
I love everything bagels. They're so good.
Me too.
The best part is you can get some cream cheese and just dip it in there, or like some whipped cream cheese and dip it in there. Oh, wow.
Well, Shags, it says no cream cheese schmear necessary, sir. So
Those people are uncultured. They don't know what they're talking about.
We also have we mentioned the beer can chicken. We have Pringles Hot Honey. Hot Honey is like that's the new flavor that everybody.
I would try that.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Yeah.
into that.
Mm.
With
yeah.
deliciously spicy sweet with notes of honey, aged cayenne peppers, and spice in every bite.
This is making me hungry.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad at all, actually.
Yeah, I would try that.
Whoa!
Rice Krispies. What the hell? Oh my God, we're jumping the gun.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that.
Listen,
Okay,
I
no-
like sweet and salty, but it depends. I
That
don't
sounds
know.
like the Sugarfoot.
Okay.
Does. One
No.
bite, you're done.
Okay, these are other products here. So we're now moving away from the Pringles with the hot honey here. We now go to Cheez-Its and stuff. So these are other things that are being rolled out. So yeah. Well, anyways, yeah. We'd love to hear y'all's thoughts and if you try any of those. I think for me, the winner is definitely the Everything Bagel, followed closely by the hot honey and the chili cheese fries. That's where I'm going to go with that.
I would do the hot ones. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it? Just the hot
Yeah.
ones. Huh?
I'll try
don't
them all. Why
like
not?
mine.
I'll just give them all a whirl.
Well, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should have a big old stream where we just have a bunch of Pringles.
Eat chips, get fat and happy
Yeah.
like typical Americans. Yeah, all right.
Damn right. Let's go. Love that. That's excellent. Hey, Valiant, who I'm sure I just butchered their name, came in with a $25 direct donation. Says Scarlett has a YouTube video with constructive criticism about the Real Game Awards, all to make it the best it can be. I recommend you watch it if you haven't. I haven't seen it. I'm all about constructive criticism. I'm all about it. So yeah, I'll definitely look and take a look at all of it. Look, it was not a perfect show. It won't be a perfect show. It won't be perfect next year, but we're doing our best. The point this year was just do it. And we did it. So I feel pretty good about that. Mark of Reality says Acosta quit live on CNN. The only people who saw it live were the relatives of CNN staff and people being tortured. Incorrect spelling in airports. Wait, really? Someone
I
They-
saw somebody got axed on CNN. Yeah, but
Like
I don't follow
live?
CNN, so I don't know anything about it.
Like,
I don't know
see
if he
if
was live. I'll look.
Yeah, see if you can find that. See because I would love to see the clip of that. Corona Soul says Lay's stacks greater than Pringles. Montez.
That's blasphemy.
Oh man, the Lay's stacks, they're like the ruffled versions of Pringles, correct?
Mhm.
With the ridges on them. Yeah. You got any thoughts on chip talk here, Wicked?
Oh, I love chips. I could do a lot of chip talk. The Lay's, the ridges are best to dip with. Like when you get just like the regular old bison dip. I don't know if everyone has that. That might have been like a
Say
New York
bison
thing.
dip?
Bison dip, like sour cream and onion dip.
What?
No,
Not like the meat, Craig.
not like the meat. Like no.
Is it bison like bison?
Mhm. Yeah,
But it's
Sorry.
not
Brand.
bison.
it's not. No, it's a brand. I think it might
Oh.
be like a Western
Oh.
New York thing.
Okay.
Very good.
Sounds good. Ian came in and says, "Come to the UK. Our chips come in every flavor imaginable, dreamt up by swivel-eyed sociopaths locked in the back room of a potato factory."
Can I just say, you know what I've really liked dipping lately? Like tortilla chips and tzatziki dip. So good.
I've said this before, and this is a problem that I have personally. The potato or the chip in general, specifically the tortilla chip, is my favorite eating utensil. Like I can put anything on a tortilla chip and just put it in my mouth and eat the chip. So like that's my favorite. I love everything
He's
about
got forks in the shape of food.
it. That's awesome. Yeah. Mystery knows. He goes, "Hey, kettle chips are awesome. For the Montez, let's go." See, kettle chips are the best. I had a buddy who worked for a chip company for a while, and that was bad news. He would send me chips all the time. We had, it was, and they were good ass chips too. Trying all that stuff. I legit think I put on like 15 pounds from eating all those damn chips. All right, we have. We'll try to get back here on track here. We have listen, all you Lord of the Rings fans. We got an update for you guys, as courtesy of IGN. They have delivered us the news of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies getting a massive 6-film 4K collection coming out in just a couple months. There you go. You can watch the whole damn thing, all 6 of them. Blabs, your thoughts?
Well, I was gonna wonder if you, as the residential Lord of the Rings expert, if you'll be picking up for $209.99.
I would like to go on record and say that I will not be picking up the $209.99 six film 4K collection.
I mean, I wouldn't either. It's got the Hobbits. Who cares?
Well, I really want to keep my experience of sharing that live on Locals when I did that, just right here in my memory. And I don't really feel a need to invest another $210 into that. So I feel good about that.
All right.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. That's a good cop out. Shags, Wicked, do you have any, is there a number one, are you interested in Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit 6-film 4K collection coming out March 18th? Does that intrigue you at all?
No. Not really. I'm not gonna buy it. Not that I don't like Lord of the Rings. I've seen the first movie. I know I have to catch up and watch all the movies. I seen it in theaters too, so it's like I fell off. But I'm not gonna spend that much on the movies. No.
You've not seen the second and third Lord of the Ring movie?
No, I'm sorry.
So I'm not gonna trash you because I like you, Wicked, but shut up, Craig. You're not allowed to have an opinion on this.
Wicked, as the resident Lord of the Rings expert on our channel, the one who's seen the movies most recently than anybody else on our show, Blabs included, I just want to let you know, number 2, it's okay. It's okay. Number 3.
I can't believe he's having these opinions and saying them out loud.
Number 3,
Bold
much
move,
better.
Cotton.
If I was to, like, if I remember correctly, now it's been several months, although I was the most recent one to see the movies, Blabs. I would say the first one was really good. The second one just kind of went along.
Do you even know the 4 hobbits' names?
Dinky, Winky, Flippy, and Doc.
Okay, Teletubbies.
You know, I'm not good with names, Blabs. I can hardly remember your name. I've been doing the show with you for 2 years. All right. But the third one is really fun. The third one is great. So, while you have to watch the second one, the third one is where everything pays off. So
I'll catch up. I promise.
It's only 20 years. It's fine.
I'm sure. All right, let's check this out. This doesn't have anything to do with anything outside of, I love the idea of somebody just like leaving on the air. This is Jim Acosta on CNN, I guess, quitting. Let's see what he has to say.
Just want to end today's show by thanking all of the wonderful people who work behind the scenes at this network. You may have seen some reports about me and the show. And after giving all of this some careful consideration and weighing an alternative time slot CNN offered me, I've decided to move on. I am grateful to CNN for the nearly 18 years I've spent here doing the news. People often ask me if the highlight of my career at CNN was at the White House covering Donald Trump. Actually, no. That moment came here when I covered former President Barack Obama's trip to Cuba in 2016 and had the chance to question the dictator there, Raul Castro, about the island's political prisoners. As the son of a Cuban refugee, I took home this lesson. It is never a good time to bow down to a tyrant. I've always believed it's the job of the press to hold power to account. I've always tried to do that here at CNN, and I plan on doing all of that in the future. One final message. Don't give in to the lies. Don't give in to the fear. Hold on to the truth and to hope. Even if you have to get out your phone, record that message. I will not give in to the lies. I will not give in to the fear. Post it on your social media so people can hear from you too. I'll have more to say about my plans in the coming days, but until then, I want to thank all of you for tuning in.
Okay. So Shags, you're shaking your head.
Oh, it's just so cryptic, and I can only, I could draw my own conclusions based on past events, but, I just don't think anyone has learned their lesson over the past few years. Like, you could take this as CNN's full of shit and don't believe them, but I don't believe that's what he's saying. I think it's more of I'm just kind of fed up with everything, and now I'm moving on because I can't handle this anymore. I'm just kind of sick of legacy media. It's really tiring to hear them lie day after day. And it's, the lying through omission is just, it's so egregious at the end of the day, because you're not reporting. You're outright lying to the public. It's really bad. But
I personally love the idea that he's talking about don't give into the lies, don't give into the fear, while also being on a network that literally had a counter of deaths on the side of its side of its broadcast during COVID. That was strictly all about fear and propaganda. Wicked, your thoughts?
I think that it's ridiculous. Exactly like what Shags just said. Journalists, they used to be about giving us the truth, and now it's just about pushing lies. And he's going on this whole sympathy, whatever rant there. Don't give in to tyrants. What he's calling Donald Trump a tyrant is my guess. Someone who's trying to actually expose lies. I'm not going to get into it too heavily, but you guys know what I mean. Don't believe him, but believe me. I'm leaving because seems kind of like he was throwing a hissy fit. Like he didn't get his way. He doesn't want to report on it. Kind of sad. That's all I got to say about it. It's a little ridiculous.
Right. Blabs, you got anything on that?
He sounds like a wanker. I've never heard of him in my life.
Yeah, I never heard of him either. That's the first I've ever seen of him. I don't watch that stuff.
You know that meme? Oh no. So anyways, yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, I think this is one of those situations where you have a network that is clearly struggling, that from an anchor who doesn't have a whole lot of credibility, and all of a sudden, apparently what happened was his ratings were really low, so they offered him a time slot in the middle of the night, and he didn't want to take that time slot, so he just quit. So, and you know what he's probably going to do? He's probably going to start a YouTube channel, most likely.
Make more money.
He's going to go on to social media, don't give in to the lies.
Yeah, don't give in to the lies. That's right. All right, let's move on. Let's talk Doctor Who. You guys big Doctor Who fans?
I was.
Nope. Okay, then let's not talk Doctor Who unless you really want to, Blabs. Do you want to
Nah,
talk Doctor Who?
it's dead. It's ripped. Basically, TLDR, they hired a trans person to do some writing. And they're just hiring people for quota check boxes now, even more than they have been. The end.
Okay. All right, we have then let's go to this. This is from Niche Gamer. Conservative pundit Matt Walsh attacks anime again, says men who watch it are morbidly obese.
Hey, that's not nice. I'm going to the gym.
Let's start with you, Wicked. What are your thoughts on the statement that everybody who watches anime are fat asses?
I think he's a hater. I mean, of course, there's fat people in every crowd. Okay, you don't got to single out the anime people. Of course, there's chunkers that watch anime.
Chunkers,
but not all of them. Okay, I have I've known a lot of people that are into anime, and actually, none of them are fat. So that's a lie. I call BS on that.
Well, I think that really kind of digs into the idea that you have, the reputation of gamers in general, the reputation of quote unquote nerds, anime, weebs, whatever you want to call them, is that of the, antisocial, nerd, kind of autistic, stays to themselves, maybe a little overweight. I mean, that's the reputation, right?
The Mountain Dew Doritos people.
Right. Exactly.
I don't drink Mountain Dew or eat Doritos, and I play games. So
You're missing out, Wicked. I mean,
you're
it's,
really
it's so good.
right. Yeah. Like, as the chat says, Star Wars kid. Star Wars kid is the meme, right?
Yeah.
But that's just it, right? There are all sorts of different stereotypes when it comes to any walks of life, and you could say that Matt Walsh himself is a walking stereotype of like the super conservative movement, just the way he looks in his flannel shirts and stupid glasses like me. But I don't know. It's like when somebody says something like this, I think that they're doing that basically out of ignorance. Matt Walsh has probably never watched a second of anime. He doesn't know anything about the stuff at all. He probably never played video games. He doesn't know anything about this culture. He knows about what he knows. So, people paint with broad brushes all the time when it comes to specifically, in that space. So, is it fair? No, but what do you really expect when it comes to this? Blabs, what do you have on this?
Oh, well, I mean, that quote tweet says everything I think about Matt Walsh. I think Matt Walsh, I don't even see that. Like, I wrote down Matt Walsh just wants Freerin to sit on his face. Let's be real here, Freerin, everybody. But I don't know if he's like trolling or just trying to get attention and all this stuff. Like, he's said this again. So I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? You got roasted last time. So I feel like he's just doing this for attention. And I highly disagree with him because I'm a weeb. I'm not obese. I don't eat unhealthy. I mean, I've literally read an entire book last night from anime. So, fuck you. At the end.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
And she took that personally.
I took that personally. I'm literally reading 3 timelines of one series right now.
So angry, Blabs.
Yeah.
What if Matt Walsh came out and said anime people who watch anime are angry?
I mean, I'm not actually angry.
He'd be right. He'd be so right.
Well, I mean, when you call people fat and ugly and all these things, I think they're allowed to be angry.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hear you. Like I said, these broad strokes that people paint with, So I get it. All right, let's move on to this. We have this story. This is kind of a crazy ass story, courtesy of IGN. It says iconic Bethesda voice actor of Skyrim, Fallout 3, and more found, quote, barely alive as family seeks support. The voice has temporarily been silenced. We'll get to the update here in a little bit. Here's the original story. Iconic Bethesda voice actor Wes Johnson, who appeared in Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, Fallout 3, Starfield, and many more, was found, quote, barely alive in his hotel room last week, and his family are asking for their support. Johnson's wife, Kim, and other family members set up a GoFundMe to ask fans for donations towards medical expenses to help cover bills while he's unable to work. Right now, Wes continues to battle for his life in intensive care unit. Johnson volunteered to host a benefit event for the National Alzheimer's Foundation in Atlanta. After flying down, checking into his hotel, alarms were raised as he didn't appear at the event. When he didn't show up at the event, his wife tried desperately to get in touch with him. It took hotel security to enter his room and discover him unconscious and barely alive. Emergency medical technician crews struggled to find a pulse. So the GoFundMe set at $50,000 right there. Let's go up here for the update. Bethesda's voice actor Wes Johnson is now awake and talking, but a little out of it after being found barely alive in his hotel room last week. Johnson's wife Kim informed charity event initiative Fallout for Hope of his improvements. He is awake and talking and just a little out of it. He's still in the intensive care unit, but far more stable. She added that specialists have a theory on what the health issue is, and they're running tests to zero in on that cause. They're going to keep everybody updated.
Well, why do I think that people just paid for someone to recover from a drug overdose? I mean, if I'm being real, I'm not saying that he shouldn't get the care he needs, but is it just me, or is that like...
There's a GoFundMe for everything now.
I know.
Yeah. I sneezed. Here's my money.
Need tissues, help.
So go ahead, Wicked.
No, I agree with that. Before you even finished, I thought like, oh, I was gonna ask like, what did he overdose or that's where my head was going. Not that there was some kind of health issue, which it could be that. So if that comes out to be, then I'll take that back. But it likely was something drug related. That's what it looks like to me.
I think that's tough. This is somebody like, I think that's where most people's mind goes initially, right? Is like most people just don't fall over and die in their hotel room. Now, I'm speaking as somebody who did have a cousin die in a hotel room from a drug overdose. I've experienced this firsthand. And once again, this is all speculation. We're not saying this is what happened. We're just speculatively talking over here. But I think that's where most people's mind initially goes. Now, like I said, we could find out that there was something, maybe he did have some sort of crazy heart attack. But I think that's where I don't think it's unreasonable to at least have that thought, in a situation like this. I don't know anything about this guy outside if he does voiceovers. But I'll say this, if that is the case, and he did have some sort of drug overdose, and his family did throw out like, hey, help us cover these medical bills, which, by the way, they asked for $50,000. It's currently at $152,000. Holy shit.
Wow.
Right. If that's the case, then his family's fucked up. But
that's what I mean. Like, I don't know. The article is very vague in what happened. It's this a thing happened and he didn't have a pulse hardly, but he's in intensive care and he's up. And it's like, well, again, I'm not saying he didn't deserve to be saved. Like, my brother was an addict for years and he's recovered, or recovering. They're always recovering. But like, he had many run-ins where it was really close. And I understand that this is an issue, but it just seems, I don't know. It doesn't seem right to run a GoFundMe for something like this.
It's not very transparent. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If they just clearly be like, so he's got this kind of condition, and it's not something he did to himself, like drugs. Let's be real here. I think people will be more open to helping.
Yeah.
I just think transparency would be the best case here.
Yeah. But I also don't want to jump to conclusions either. Like, it could be something totally serious. And in that case, it's, it's understandable, but a little bit more information would be nice. That's all.
This was pointed out by Heathen Deluxe. Is who parties at an all-timer?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
And you're right. I don't think, like, if that is the case, once again, we're speaking strictly in hypotheticals, right? You want to be very clear, but you need to remember, and once again, this is somebody, Shags, you said you have a relative who's been an addict and is an addict, recovering addict, and as somebody who had a family member die from their addiction, it doesn't matter where you're at. It really doesn't matter if you're at an Alzheimer's convention or if you're at the biggest rager of your life. That's just kind of what happens is you're looking for your next fix. And once again, I want to be really clear. We're not saying that's what happened here, but a little more transparency would go a long way as far as allowing us to not automatically make that leap in this situation.
Yeah.
So I think that's the bigger message for this is, yes, it sucks. Why did it happen? Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You got anything to put a button on that, Wicked?
No, I agree with that. And I think something that adds to us thinking that it may be drug related is because it happened in a hotel, like he's away from his family. So that also adds to that. So I guess we'll find out more at some point.
Yeah. Well, regardless of whatever it was, I hope that he recovers. I hope he's fine. That's the biggest thing.
B. Barrett says, hotel worker here. During the week of Christmas, we had 3 deaths, all drug overdoses.
My goodness.
I'll tell you what, Blabs. We talk about doing unique shows like that. I would love to do a hotel worker roundtable.
Okay,
because
down.
That and maybe we can bring B. Barrett on because that is something that I am fascinated with. The idea that you're going in, like, could you imagine being like somebody who cleans hotel rooms and you walk in, like some of the shit that you see, I no interest in that.
I was talking to my wife about this when we were on our honeymoon and we were coming out and, people they're going in and out cleaning. I was like, of all the jobs in the world, can you imagine the shit you see? Like people just rent, at the nice resorts, I'm sure you see stuff occasionally, not to mention the pay by the hour places, like, but like it's got to be one of the filthiest jobs that you can have. Like because people like when they're not looking, when others aren't looking, people are gross.
Oh yeah, they are.
And yeah, so I can't even imagine like what people see.
Well, to bounce off of that, when you say like even the nice places, think about what happened a couple months ago with Liam Payne. He got absolutely shit-faced off of drugs and everything and wrecked the entire hotel room. And obviously it's Liam Payne. He's not going to go stay at some like shitty-ass place. It was probably really luxurious. So it's everywhere. Ugh.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, if you are a hotel worker, let us know. Maybe it'd be cool to have you on the show and just do something, do like a special roundtable where we kind of sit down and talk about those things. Because that is something like we talk about, like if you're a medical worker and you show up to a car accident, you have a pretty good idea what you're about to see, right? If you're just in there to change the sheets and you walk in and, there's somebody strung out with their, vomit coming out of their mouth and just dead, like you're not paid enough.
Right.
You're not
Honestly,
paid enough to see that shit.
The more expensive fancy hotels might see more of that because you get like the rock stars and the people with money that are going there to sneak away. It could be possible that they see more of it.
It's for sure in their training. Like,
oh yeah,
you see this?
It's gotta be.
Yeah. Yep.
Just hit them with a stick.
Are you alive?
Poke.
Hello, sir. Hey, DB Wild Game In says, despite him being loony liberal, did y'all hear about Mark Ruffalo's joint venture with the Lay's and Funyuns people to create his own chip brand, Mark Ruffalo's Ruffle O's?
Is that real? I'm a Google.
Blabs is Googling. Look out.
What you did. You caused her to Google. Clemson came in, says, wicked greater than Mazza. There we go. Thank you so much, Clemson. Appreciate that support. Robin Will says, love that Americans finally get the word wanker. I think it's strictly a Blabs thing.
I've been saying it for years.
Yusef came in and says, Matt Walsh can shut the fuck up. Fake Catholic who said and did nothing when Candace Owen left Daily Wire because of her beliefs intersecting Shapiro's Jewism. Him and Lobster Man's silence was deafening about her. Who's Lobster Man?
I don't know.
Thanks, Yusef.
By the way, that Ruffalo thing is fake.
Well, yeah, you've
been bamboozled.
Once again.
Disappointed Blabs.
New York Giants fan says, dad joke of the day. If your house is cold, you should go stand in the corner. It's always 90 degrees there. Let's go. Hey, bada boom, hey.
Please don't do that. Thank you. It really hurts after a while,
Greg just says, hey, wicked.
Hey, Greg.
Can we just make that a clip? Just that. It's
I was already that down. Hey, Greg.
Oh, that's funny. Mo said, to be fair, drugs are really, really fun. Oh, well, good for you, Mo. Good for you. Please take care of yourself. All right, let's keep moving on. Oh, my God. Okay, so our boy Destin Legary, who was actually on episode 1 of Side Scrollers a mere 2 years ago, worked with him back at the Screw Attack days before he left to eventually end up at IGN. He was over at IGN for many a years over there before he recently left to start his own YouTube channel. And he had a pretty big exclusive in an interview with Phil Spencer of Xbox. He's using all of his IGN access media to get in and drop some bombs. Did you guys see this interview that Destin had with Phil Spencer?
No.
Interesting. Now, this is about exclusivity. I figured we watch this about 3-minute and 30-second clip here. So we're going to make our way through here and see this out and see what Phil Spencer has to say about exclusivity.
Indiana Jones has an exclusivity window. To be fair, can you solidify that Starfield staying put for the time being?
No, I'm not. There's no specific game that this kind of goes back to my red line answer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no reason for me to put a ring fence around any game and say this game will not go to a place that it would find players, where it would have business success for us. What we find is we're able to drive a better business that allows us to invest in great game lineup like you saw. And that's our strategy, right? Our strategy is to allow our games to be available Game Pass is an important component of playing the games on our platform. But to keep games off of other platforms, we don't think is a path that that's not a path for us. It doesn't work for us. What we're doing now, we think really enables us to build the best platform for the world's best games, because the world's biggest games are available in multiple places. And more creators are asking us, how do we stay connected when our game might be playable in all these different places? And we want Xbox to be absolutely the platform that enables that. We think that makes us unique. Most of the other platforms out there are single platform on single device, whether that's PC, whether it's mobile, whether it's a console. And we want Xbox to be a platform that enables creators across any screen that people want to play on.
So Xbox sounds like they're getting out of the exclusivity game.
Stupid.
Think so?
Yeah, I think there's two things that destroyed gaming in one way or another, in like major ways over the past decade or so, past 20 years. One was the race to have the best graphics. The other was abandoning console exclusivity. Console exclusivity, and people will fight me on this, but I think it really helped drive innovation, because each of these platforms had something that was unique or an IP that that people loved, and it drove them to create good games. I want to keep coming back to this franchise or keep coming back to this game. And because of that, and alongside of that, you need to innovate on your actual console and on your brand. Now it's just, well, I can get this anywhere, so there's no point. I just got to make sure it plays decently well across all of them. I don't believe that it's really driving player numbers up all that much. I mean, I loved back in the day when I could only have, like, I could only get a game on this one, and I would just stick with it because it was another form of, like, what's the word? Brand,
just an identity. Yeah.
Brand identity and like brand retention. I can't think of the exact term I want,
Sure.
but
just a relationship with the brand. Yeah.
Yeah. I said, again, I think it drives innovation, when you have competing companies like this. And now it's just like, well, everything's available everywhere. There's no real reason to, the hardware is like the only thing I think that these companies are trying to like drive forward. And even that is sort of like reaching this like apex a bit. But that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Wicked, your thoughts on number one, Xbox leaving exclusivity, or at least looking that way, and just the general idea of console exclusivity.
Well, I would say I was on board with it before I became pretty much exclusively a PC gamer. So now, like, when stuff comes out on PlayStation, I recently got a PS5. So, I don't really use it though. Because I'm PC gamer. So when things come out and I can't play it on PC, I get upset about that. But I understand the exclusivity because, not everybody has a PC. Not everyone can build a PC. Sometimes it's expensive. So you have your PlayStation, which is also expensive. But people like that, they like having the exclusivity. Personally, I don't love it because, again, PC gamer. But back in the day, I was Nintendo and PlayStation, and that's all I had. So I was fine with it. I don't know. It seems like you would make more money if you do expand, but at the same time, maybe their thought process with having it be, exclusive to their console is, someone, if they really want to play the game, they're going to go out and buy the whole console. I don't know how many people can really afford that. So I don't know. I guess we're going to have to see what happens with it. I don't know if sales will go up because now PC gamers they don't have to wait and they can just get it.
Right.
But yeah, that's my thought on it.
There's been a lot of we've talked about console exclusivity on the show. We've had a lot of varying viewpoints on this. Some people love the idea of it. Personally, I do, right? But I know other people hate the idea of it, and they think it's very short-sighted. It's obvious that Xbox is going into the very short-sighted. We want to, cast the net as far as we possibly can side of things. I mean, I get it. I'm with you, Shags. I think that it builds brand affinity. It allows you to go in and feel good about when you buy a Nintendo console or a Sony console, you're going to be able to get these exact games, and you can't get them anywhere else, right? I go back to the 90s where they'd say, or even the early 2000s, only on Xbox. Yeah. You could only get this on PlayStation, or you can only get this on Nintendo or Super Nintendo. You can't see this on Genesis, right? And that creates a brand affinity, which I think is a very big part of the process of gaming in general. And I think that Xbox needs to be they need to tread lightly with this strategy, because I think they're very they're just going to become a developer at a certain point, which is crazy to think about, because they're gonna get lost in the shuffle. They're just going to become this, like, they're trying. It goes back to the old saying that if you try to be something for everybody, you're something for nobody. And I wonder if that's the case. What's going to be happening here with Microsoft here, or maybe they sell hundreds of millions of copies of their games and they say "fuck you, Craig," which is a big possibility. So.
I mean, it's a fair point that Nintendo definitely solidified their brand, because you can't get Nintendo on PC. I have a Switch. I will eventually get the Switch too. So that's one console that I will always be purchasing. So, I mean, that's a good point if you look at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it works, and Nintendo continues to prove that. There's no doubt that being in multiple areas and markets or whatever is good. I mean, Xbox Game Pass, as much as people want to trash it, like, I still use it to demo games. Like, I have like just PC Game Pass right now, and then I think I just have like whatever the lowest tier is for my kids to play on. But like, I'll just boot up a game that I want to try out, and if I don't like it, I'll uninstall it. Like, that way I don't have to spend the 30, 40, 50 bucks on it, or more to play it. But again, there's a downside to it all, and I think Microsoft has just gotten so far away from, dare I say, what made them great in the first place. And there's I don't think we've hit the lowest point with them yet. And you might be right, Craig. It might they're turning into just like basically a developer at this point.
An amalgamous goo. That's how I imagine. They're just like goo. They just wants to cover everything, and it's like, ew.
There's no true identity to what they are. They're just a thing that's everywhere, and that's not always a good model.
I agree. I think so too. And you see that with their advertising, where this is an Xbox, and this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, and if everything's an Xbox, nothing's really an Xbox. If that makes sense. So,
yep.
All right. DV Wild came in back with a 10 Blabs. It says, Blabs, no likey the Ruffalos. How about Eric Bana, Ang Lee's Hulk, partnering with Chiquita and Nine Line Apparel to create Eric Bana's banana bandanas?
Poof.
Bad joke ninja out. Hey, DV Wild. Thanks for dropping your ninja joke. Appreciate that.
Hee ha ha.
You like that one, Blabs?
Well, I learned my lesson. I honestly thought it was a really great idea of Mark Ruffalo to do Ruffalo's chips. I'd be like, that's actually genius, but he's too stupid for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just wait. If he keeps coming on the internet with all these horrible takes, he's going to need money. He's not going to get hired anymore, so he's going to need the Ruffalos.
Okay, so rely on the MCU money forever.
Yeah.
Lord Backer says they're turning video game brands into undistinguishable mush. That's a good way to say it. Mush. Nintendo are the only ones doing it right. They're the ones cashing in, man. They're the ones killing it. The deep fryer says, with Xbox, I think Don Matrick did permanent damage to the brand, and they're still trying to recover by whatever means necessary. Thanks, Steve Fryer. Appreciate that. Future Boy says, starting a GoFundMe for autoerotic asphyxiation. I don't know. Don't want to throw that one out there, but who knows? Maybe you're right. We'll see. SNK fans says, can't wait for Matt Walsh's next movie, Am I a Waifu?
For real. What is a waifu?
Wicked is way too cute for her own benefit. Saucy. Thanks, pronoun Beaver.
That picture. Wasn't ready for that.
Hey, it's Drag says, better than PlayStation, who does their so-called exclusivity, but the only games they have this year are Xbox games. This is true. And once again, this is why I think Nintendo is what it is. They're spectacular. All right, let's move on. We had a little bit of gaming discussion here before we get into this Assassin's Creed and Activision stuff. We had this conversation last week about I don't remember even what we were talking about, Blabs. Oh, you know what it was? No, I know exactly what it was. We had this conversation last week where we were talking about Ocarina of Time with Vera Dark. And
she loves that game.
She loves it so much. And I just casually threw out there that I played it recently, and she's like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. And she bullied me into saying it was so great. But what she didn't bully me into doing was going to X and asking this question. What was one game you played and loved as a kid that for whatever reason just doesn't hold up well today after playing it? Because we've all had those games we loved. And you go back and play them and you're like, oh, this game's dog shit. You guys got anything off the top of your head when it comes to that? And some of the responses here, what do you guys think? I'll just highlight some of these responses. Snapple Rai says, I would say Super Metroid. If I said it, would you get mad at me? The answer is yes. I would.
It's a bad take.
Tebow came in and says, I imagine Ocarina of Time would qualify. See, you know, you're going to get yelled at for that. Mike says this definitely isn't Ocarina of Time. Game still
Like,
slaps.
no.
Dino Crisis over here.
I think I have mine.
The original Metroid. I think the original Metroid is.
It's goated.
Coded.
No, it's goated. The original Metroid is like one of the best. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Most FPS games before Medal of Honor, Call of Duty. You know, the one that came to me while thinking about this was actually a game for the PlayStation 3 called Resistance: Fall of Man. They made 3 of those games for the PlayStation 3. And if you go back and play it now, it feels so unbelievably dated. Just the movement in it and such. It's crazy. So hopefully I've given you guys enough time. Shagsworth, is there a game that comes out in the back of your mind about this?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Resistance, and I was hoping no one would talk about it because I didn't.
Really?
I thought everyone forgot. Yeah. Because on the Resistance 3 was a PS3 like launch title. Like it was like it's coming out, you got to get it. And I bought the combo or whatever, and I went home and I loved it. And then it wasn't like, but thinking about it now, and it's just the controls were clunky. And I even have a hot take about like the 007 games, that those controls were just ass cheeks.
That's my pick. GoldenEye.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Like,
it's okay.
Anyways, but yeah, I would say that Resistance 3 in particular, and then my honorable mention is Lost Planet 2. So,
okay, so Wicked, you're gonna go with GoldenEye, huh?
Yeah, so I'm going with GoldenEye, but I am gonna give it another try on multiplayer. It's the controls. Like the game itself, it's still a nice little nostalgic trip. I loved it. I used to always do the big like 3D heads and the paintball guns when I was a kid. I thought that was so funny, those mods for it. But just playing it on the Switch is not the same as playing it on the 64. Like the controls are very wonky. But I am gonna give it another try on multiplayer. It'll probably be fun, but the controls are probably still gonna get on my nerves.
What about you guys? Chat. What is the game that you played as a kid, you loved, and you went back and played it, and you're like, oh, that's not very good at all. Would love to hear y'all's thoughts on this. Blabs, what about you? And why is it Roller Coaster Tycoon?
No, first of all, you leave the pyrotechnics alone. It actually would have to be Wii games. Solely because of the motion sensor has gotten awful. Like anytime I try to play like my Wii U, it is frustrating that the sensors just don't really pick it up anymore because it's old. The games are just dated. So yeah, I'd have to say some Wii games for me. It was just like, I can't play this anymore. It's over. It's done. Yeah.
What Wii game in particular, though?
So there's honestly, I'm gonna get shit for this. 2 of the Harry Potter games. I'm just saying, you can't play them anymore on the Wii. It's
color me shocked.
Color me shocked. Yeah, but no, some of those are just not really playable anymore. Wii Sports is still okay, but it's yeah.
Okay. Well, let us know in the comments what your game is that you played that totally disappointed you and made you a sad, sad boy. When you went back and played it. All right. Maybe one of those games was Skies of Arcadia. I don't know. Did you guys ever play Skies of Arcadia back on the Dreamcast? You ever hear about this game?
No.
Well, Skies of Arcadia was a game back on Dreamcast. Thank you very much to the YouTube channel Jake Nasty Snake for this gameplay here. Appreciate that greatly. This is a game that you could go through, and it was thought of as like a really good RPG in the Dreamcast days. Big story, fun characters, nice combat. See kind of the elements, what's going on here. This is an upscaled version of the game, but turn-based style game. Well, this was a cash cow back in the day for Sega, and now it looks like they have actually gone and re-registered the trademark for Skies of Arcadia and potentially looking to bring it back. This was just done in the past week, as you can see the trademark date there, or just this year. So the idea of the, like, this is a very, very much a, this is on the GameCube as well. Thank you very much. This was a, I don't know, those who love Skies of Arcadia loved Skies of Arcadia. Is there any games that, you guys obviously aren't super familiar with this one, but are there any games from the early 2000s, late 90s that you'd like to see rebooted in some way, shape, or form that would, that haven't seen the light of day in the last 2 decades?
Donkey Kong 64. Give me Donkey Kong 64, please. That's
You
it.
want to see?
That's my only pick.
You just want them to remake Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, and it better be good, or else I'm gonna riot.
I would love to see you outside Nintendo, all by yourself, going no, and
one of the golden bananas on the picket, like.
right.
Yeah, I already have the sign idea made. I'm ready.
What about you, Shags?
Legend of Dragoon, easy pick for me.
Okay.
Yep, I actually recently played it because it's on PlayStation Plus or whatever. You can stream it there. It's still the combat system is so good. It's such a great story. I would like to see what they do with it now. I don't know if I wanted to go as far as like Final Fantasy remake, but somewhere in between, So
Okay. Blabs, what about you? Is there any games from the last 2 decades that you haven't seen a game? And let me rephrase that. Is there a Harry Potter game, Blabs, that you'd like to see remade?
No, and somebody even asked me that, saying, "Oh, would you want to get like the old Harry Potter games remade?" And I'm like, "No," because clearly the developers of today's day and age aren't capable of just remaking it and remastering it with today's gameplay and graphics. They have to throw something else in there that just doesn't fit. So no, I don't want anything to be remastered or remade.
Okay.
Parasite Eve would be another good one to see remastered.
Yeah. Parasite Eve, huh? You are definitely a PlayStation 2 child, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. All right. Well, you can look out for Skies of Arcadia maybe eventually in a few years. How's that sound? Nice tease right there.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to this one. God damn. Assassin's Creed Shadows. It just seems like every day there's something to talk about with this game. And it's really amazing. I mean, it really is. To see them continuously. You ever seen that picture, that GIF or the scene from The Simpsons where it's Sideshow Bob stepping on rakes and he keeps hitting himself in the face with the rakes? You ever seen that before?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's what I think Ubisoft is doing with Assassin's Creed Shadows. They're just consistently stepping on rakes over and over again. And they released 2 hours of gameplay, as well as a lot of people actually had between 4 and 6 hours of gameplay recently, some of the Access media. And they were talking about things that were going on. And some keen-eyed folks really pointed out some interesting inaccuracies. And the thing about this game is they really said over and over again that they strive for historical accuracy. Do you guys recall this part of the conversation? How important it was to them? Well, apparently in feudal Japan, they had watermelons and cherry blossoms, which was quickly pointed out. This is not something that actually took place over here. This is from Kongman, friend of the show. It says, FYI, watermelons are never seen in the same season as cherry blossoms, summer versus spring. Didn't reach Japan until the Edo period, long after the Sengoku period. But Ubisoft had to include watermelons for the legendary Forgotten Black Samurai. Oh my. And this has been passed around 2.5 million times over on X right here. I guess the way I lead into this is, don't you think they probably should have thought a little more about including that fruit in this game, given the conversation around it?
I think this is the smallest of our worries.
Smallest of our worries?
Yeah, watermelon Ghey is like the smallest of our worries. If you even look at that photo, his weapon is clipping his head. Dude should be dead. If that was real. But yeah.
This is true. You can see the weapon literally clipping through the hat right here.
Yeah, like I think that's even worse. The constant clipping that we see in this game.
Oof.
You know,
Yeah.
I think for me, the most interesting about this is the idea that, like, yes, that's bad, right? But for me, it's the idea that they continuously over and over again said historically accurate, historically accurate, historically accurate.
Yeah, it is pretty bullshit.
Not even close to being historically accurate, right? So this was pointed out, like Ghey came in, said, you know, this is responding to me. The watermelon thing is just fucking hilarious. Is yeah, that part I can understand. It's just weird to me when people are using it as a way to denounce the game. Yes, Assassin's Creed aims to be historically accurate, but there's a huge pile of issues in accuracy before getting into a random fruit that happens to be out of season. I mean, there is truth in that, but I would counter that with saying, like, it's the details that make games great.
It's true. All of it matters. But on the scale of everything, I would say this matters the least that we've seen so far.
I'll agree with Melee here. Like, I think, and depending on how, because we're seeing a screenshot that we can look at for a long period of time. The trees in the background, the cherry blossom trees, they're beautiful. They add like depth to the scene. They look good. The watermelon, like, I don't know if I would have noticed that necessarily unless someone was pointing it out. And again, like, you're probably just running by it in that whole thing. So, you know, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, this is minor in the slew of things that are happening with this. It doesn't mean it's not, the optics of it aren't bad. You know, I don't think fruit is inherently racist, but
I agree.
You know,
I agree. I think my thing is, it just goes back to, you know, what the controversy is around this game. You know what many of the controversies are about this game. So as they're creating this, like, I agree. I don't think fruit is inherently racist at all. Right. A lot of people like fruit. A lot of people like watermelons, right?
I love watermelon.
Everybody loves watermelon. It's a delicious fruit.
Yeah.
But if you're going to say, hey, this is historically accurate, then you should probably cross the T's and dot the I's.
True.
And what it does is it devalues the rest of your statements by saying how historically accurate it is. If you can't get a fucking fruit right, or the cherry blossom season right, then you probably can't get the other things right.
Yeah.
That's my only thought on that.
Yeah.
Kongman came back and had this. He said, still can't believe Ubisoft created a game in 2025 where a black man goes around killing Asians. And he included footage of him literally decapitating these guys.
Dude, the animation's solid, though. That looked cool. I will say that. But yes,
my
very
God,
funny.
He's slicing and dicing off those guys' heads, man. That's crazy. Yikes. So there's that. And what was interesting about this, and it's pretty brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you scroll up, you can see here, it says, this is Yoko, who says, a Japanese patriot based in Japan all her life. Okay, this is someone who lives in Japan. It says, historically, the black man was not actually a samurai. Ubisoft is fabricating Japanese history to suit their DEI agenda and spreading it worldwide. While promoting DEI, Ubisoft is trampling on sorry, I misread that. Trampling on Japanese history. What are they thinking? Are they black supremacists? Don't change Japanese history. # Asian Lives Matter. I think that's probably one of the most interesting things about this conversation is you have Asian people who are like, yo, that's not accurate, like, at all. And they're saying, please don't change our history. But Ubisoft continues to tell them how historically accurate their game is. It's really, like, amazing to me. I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
You think they threw the watermelon in, like, just because they thought it was funny?
I want the fried chicken.
Someone has a sense of humor, it seems.
So we need the fried chicken as well, then.
It's incredibly racist, Blabs.
Yeah, but so is Ubisoft.
Food is.
I'm thinking as Ubisoft would.
We do have breaking news, actually. Blabs.
You are racist.
Sorry.
I think the word is based.
Oh, okay.
You spelled it wrong.
Now
wrong.
it would be very awkward if he's walking down the street in this feudal Japanese area
With a bucket of
KFC. And then this random Japanese man walks up and offers him some fried bird. That'd be quite the interesting development, to say the least. Well, I guess we'll find out more.
I do think it's important to remember too that the one big mistake that Ubisoft made was saying, like, this is based on real history. Like, and they really leaned into that, because everybody knows that, like, especially in Hollywood, the based on a true story or inspired by a true story often becomes a complete fabrication in a lot of ways. And that's exactly what's happening here. You have a real person who existed, that they're now, because that they feel they need to check off boxes and be a certain way towards a certain group, they're embellishing on story. They're going to make it more entertaining as they see it. If they had just come out and said, like, we're basing this on a person who existed, but it is not historically accurate at all. This is completely, you know what I mean? Like, that may have been a little bit more forgivable, but now they've dug themselves such a hole that it's like, well, now you look like idiots because you can't keep anything straight. But yeah, I mean, Hollywood, people don't know, Hollywood does based on a true story all the time. And a lot of times they take one person or multiple people and smash them into one person, or they completely make up a person to fill in, gaps for dramatic effect or whatever, or exaggerate events that lead to a similar ending, but just aren't the same. So it doesn't excuse this behavior necessarily here. Cause again, the problem is they lean too hard into, we're historically accurate. This is what happened. And now it's turning into a mess, and not to mention the bugs in the game.
It goes back to me for credibility every time. Once again, if one of your selling points to this game is how historically accurate it is and how you honored the Japanese people and you honored feudal Japan, you clearly didn't do that in this situation. So yeah, it's a mess. It is an absolute mess. All right, let's go and move on. But before we do, we got a couple super chats to hit. Winterfell came in with the $9.99, says GoldenEye, the HD remake, gave it an hour and was like, wow, this game sucks. Thanks, Winterfell, talking about the games that sucked from back in the day that you loved. Commodore fan says DOS, Wolfenstein 3D is so repetitive. Oh, man, gonna hurt some people's souls right there. Mojo says Boogerman. Oh, Boogerman. Do you guys ever hear of Boogerman? No? It's a game from back in the 90s for sure. B. Barrett gifted 1 member shit over on Rumble. That's nice. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that. We are currently sitting at 14 of our goals. We're going to get to, we do see every super chat. We're going to get to every one, guys. We'll get to every single one of them before the end of the show. But we are at 14 of our goal of 20 to get Montez out. Do you guys know anything about Montez? You guys heard about Montez before? He's become a big part of our show. It's okay to say no.
Is this the singing puppet thing you have?
No. The pickle lasted like 1 day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
one and done, huh?
Yeah. He was in and out because Montez came out. Montez belly to back suplexes this lady after a road rage incident. It's spectacular. Okay. Anyways, we get to our super chat goal, and Montez is going to do some work here in a little bit. Right. This helps with David. Says, I'm Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Neon Genesis Evangelion, you hear the sounds of cicadas.
What did I say?
I'm Neon.
Oh. Sorry.
Even though they only appear in the summer, this small detail is used to convey the idea. Bitch, I can just read them from the private side, okay? The small details used to convey the idea that the world is ending and seasons are all fucked up. Details tell stories.
That's right, David. That's right. Details tell stories. Yes, 100%. Bike Shorts Senpai came in and says, if they really wanted to have a black lead for Assassin's Creed, they could have made Assassin's Creed in Africa. Why did they have to use Japan? They could have done it really in any other part of the world, like pretty much every other part of the world. And you could even do it in Japan. Just don't do it in feudal Japan. Just throwing it out there. Tech4 Gaming says Skies of Arcadia Legends on the GameCube was one of my favorite games ever. I need a Steam version. Craig, I need your best Shia LaBeouf. Sega, don't let me dream the memes. Just do it. There you go. Thank you, Tech Support Gaming. That's the best I got for Shia LaBeouf. LaBeouf. Winter Fox came in with these, look at this, $27.99. Very specific, Winter Fox. Thank you very much. Says, I just wonder if the people who keep on pushing their agendas just don't care about money. And they also don't care about the collateral damage to everyone else. Winter Fox. I think there's a lot of truth in that for sure. It's not about the money. It's about the message. Thank you very much, Winter Fox. Greatly appreciate that. Jam Call came in and says, I want to see the Burning Rangers reboot in a collab platinum games. If Team Ninja gets one, so should Sonic Team. Jam Call, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, we are at 17. All right, we're 3 away. We're gonna get our goal. You guys are gonna see Montez here real shortly, which is great. Let's talk about. We've talked about this many times. The giant cultural shift we've seen in the last really week or so since President Trump took office, and I would say more so since he was elected. It started then, and then the just drastic cultural shift started as soon as he was inaugurated. One of the things that he threw out there was the idea of getting rid of DEI from the U.S. government. And we've seen private companies follow that. We were actually asked to talk about this yesterday, as apparently Target is ending its diversity goals as a strong DEI opponent occupies the White House here. So we have this discount store chain Target said Friday it would join rival Walmart and a number of other prominent American brands by scaling back diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives that have come under attack from conservative activists, and as of this week, the White House. Man, oh man. This, by the way, this first statement here, this sentence right here, this is a loaded sentence. There's so many things in here that don't need to be in here, that if your Associated Press was actually down the line, they would just say, like, I guarantee they never referred to Target as a discount chain store prior to this, right?
No.
It almost devalues it, right? When you say, oh, a discount chain store, right? Conservative activists, right? The term activist gets thrown around. Anyways, the Minnesota-based retailer said the changes to its belongings at the Bullseye strategy would include ending its program that established to help Black employees build meaningful careers, improve the experience of Black shoppers, and promote Black-owned businesses following the police killing of George Floyd in 2020. Target, which operates over 2,000 stores nationwide and employs more than 400,000 people, said it had already planned to end the racial program this year. The company said Friday it would conclude the diversity, equity, and inclusions, or DEI goals it previously set in 3-year cycles. So there you go. Target is stepping away from this. And we're going to get to some other companies here in just a second. But first and foremost, I think this is really interesting because if you recall, was it 2 summers ago that Target was the outlet that sold the transgender swimsuits? Do you recall that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was
a special pouch.
Yes. that was quite
the
a
secret
deal.
magical pouch.
And to see them kind of do such a 180 so quickly was really pretty amazing. By the way, here it is. Here's the tuck-friendly construction and the extra crotch coverage here for all your genital tucking that you wanted. And to see them do such a 180 really so quickly. They said it was going to end, but, whatever, right? I don't know. Y'all's thoughts on that. First, Wicked, let's go to you.
I'm not surprised that they're, doing a 180. I'm a little surprised they did it so fast, but they know that, their sales have to have been hurting since then, because not just the swimsuit. There's so much crap that they've been pushing over the last few years that makes not even just conservatives, parents, you don't have to be conservative to not be interested in that. The books that they put out, it's ridiculous. So not surprised, but yeah, a little surprised that they did it so quick. But when you hit these companies in their wallet, they tend to respond. So
Shags?
I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, it's unsurprising to me when something that doesn't work gets reversed. I think they just needed, these companies need to see that they don't work. And when it hits them in the bottom line, I'm sure it's hurting with employee retention, keeping good employees around, and also their sales. Like, I'm sure none of the stuff they added was helpful. All of this stuff. I mean, people shop, people, invest on, merit-based metrics for the most part. And that's what withstands the test of time, where, and then this forcing everything, down everyone's throat with the DEI hasn't given anyone like real, sorry, I can't even think of the word, hasn't given anyone any real results. So
Right.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm glad they're reversing it and going away to make money.
I just searched. I was looking for the drop in Target's value as a company after the whole trans swimsuit thing. Just to kind of add a little bit to that. But I stumbled upon this part of their website just now, which let me pull this up. Let me see if I can get this real quick. This is the LGBT Pride swimsuits here. What about this looks LGBT Pride like at all? They're just look like regular old swimsuits. I don't know. I'm kind of weird to me that
Are they made by people
Target thinks lesbians have to wear different type of bikinis and stuff.
Yes, if you're a lesbian, you have to wear different. That's how we do it here now in America. You have to wear different swimsuits.
Yeah, it's weird.
So that people can tell at the beach if you're gay or not.
Yeah, just give them a star while they're at it. Jesus.
So weird. So weird.
Very weird.
All right. Well, while Target may be saying no more when it comes to the DEI stuff, Disney is saying, we are in, as Disney has defied President Trump's order on DEI and SEC filing, admits to tying bonuses to race and sex based on factors, appears to list diversity as a skill.
Huh.
So, Wicked, I don't know. You apparently have a lot of skill being a woman.
I was just gonna say, are me and Blabs, have we just been moved up because we're women?
Sure looks that way. Congratulations.
Nice.
Good job. Good on us, Blabs. Good job.
Yes,
So proud.
Prairie.
I knew we could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Points deducted for being white, though.
Oh man.
Good.
We'll both identify as black, and then we'll be fine.
Exactly.
So Disney lists diversity as a skill and valid, quote, experience. Disney's SEC filing emphasizes the diversity of its board of directors, boasting that 50% of its members are considered diverse, with 40% non-male and 30% non-white. It's clear from this filing that Disney considers anyone who isn't a white male to be diverse. So if you're not a white dude, sorry, Shags, you're part of the problem, just so you know.
Huh?
What a bummer, huh?
Yeah.
However, the filing doesn't stop at celebrating the board's demographics. It shockingly lists diversity itself as a skill and leadership qualification, grouping it with legitimate credentials like finance, cybersecurity, and strategic transformation. That's just what a fucking statement that is.
Wow.
The absurdity of equating race or gender with hard-earned experience should not be lost on anyone. I agree, man. That is what a statement here. The idea that, hey, congratulations, Blabs. You're a woman. Also, you're good at counting numbers and cybersecurity. It's like,
Yay!
fucking clown world we live in. What a fucking clown world. It's crazy.
The only way you could consider diversity a skill is if, and it would be in this day and age, is if you were capable of tolerating diversity of thought. Like if there was like a leftist that was like able to tolerate being in the same room as a conservative, that's a skill nowadays. But that's about it. Just because you're a woman or you're of color doesn't mean that you possess anything more than the person next to you who might be white. It's silly. It's just modern day racism. Been talking about it for years now. It's silly.
It's crazy. We're going to get to this next story about Activision as it ties into this. But first, Ian came in with the €10 money. So Shia LaBeouf got in a fight in my city a few months ago. Not with me, though I'd have been down, though I would have been game. Ian, if you want to fight Shia LaBeouf, I will put it on pay-per-view. I would love to see that. Just letting you know. Thank you very much, Ian. Guy Rye came in as a brand new member. Thank you very much. We love new members. We love them. It's good. Solidus Prime says, I feel like if they wanted to pander to black gamers and make a more interesting game, people would enjoy that joy that they could have made an Assassin's Creed set during the Civil War with former slaves as the main characters. Oh man, how
I'd play
awesome
the shit out of it.
that would be fucking awesome, right? Oh man, just busting out and kicking all those bigots' asses. That'd be cool, man. Slicing throats and shit. Oh, that'd be awesome. God, like hell yeah. Magnum came in, says Wicked V and Blabs are beautiful, and Craig is. I don't know that Beardo had a cousin who can actually read. This is great. No, thanks. Thanks, Magnum. Most appreciate it.
Except Craig can't even read still. I'm Neon Genesis.
Mighty Megatron says, just accept the gray, Craig. What have I done to discourage the gray? I think it looks pretty good on the side of there. I'm saying, hey, it happens. Anonymous Gamer says, yo, Craig, new haircut. You looking fine, bro. See, there you go. Everyone likes it except for Blabs. I just don't like the glasses. Just saying. All right. We did hit our super chat goal, which is awesome. And we still have one more story to go. But before we do, I'll tell you what, Blabs, who gets to pick today? Does Wicked or Shags get to pick?
That's not fair. Don't make me pick.
Yep, you get to pick.
On Wicked.
All right, Wicked.
What? What do I pick?
She's like, what am I doing?
You get to pick if Montez goes to Super Mario Brothers, the Mushroom Kingdom, Dustborn, the Moon, Mortal Kombat, or Street Fighter 2.
Ooh, Street Fighter 2.
Sounds good. Let's go, Montez.
Bitch.
Montez wins. Perfect.
And now you know the greatness of Montez.
That's awesome.
We have one of those for every day of the week, just so you know. Which is excellent. So, look, Vito hates this. Look at this. Vito's like, no hat, Craig, plus glasses. Ugh.
No, that looks like isn't that hot?
The hot,
that's hot.
sweaty
Like
thing.
sweating.
Oh, woo! Okay.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
No, thanks, Vito. Appreciate that. Simp for
That
me.
Craig's
Simp for me.
person.
Simp. Let's go. All right. Okay, let's go to this last story here. Now, we talked about this beforehand about Blabs and I had a pretty good discussion about this beforehand. So I want to preface this and as we go through here to talk about this. Now, this is courtesy of Activision Blizzard. They are not a company that is going to be moving away from DEI. As a matter of fact, they've doubled down. This is from the president of Activision Blizzard. They came in and Rob is his name, says, given the headlines around diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in the workplace, it's no surprise that questions have come up about the future of what looks like at Activision and whether our focus and priorities around DEI shift. To be clear, this work continues to be extremely important in everything that we do. It's important to our games, our culture, and who we are as a company. Our inclusive growth team has made great strides in helping us reach inclusivity in all aspects of our business. Our strategy here remains focused on enhancing the experience of our employees, providing exceptional experiences to players globally, and providing accessible opportunities to those interacting with our company and brand. I look forward to all the great work we'll continue to do together. So Activision Blizzard is doubling down. And you know what? It's their prerogative. They can do that. If that's something that they want to do, that's totally fine. Except there's one issue with that. Is that, and this is courtesy of Grums over on X. He says he's pinging Pete Hegseth, who is now the what is this guy's job in the United States? He's overseeing the more or less
Department of Defense.
Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, DOD. Okay. So they have said, the United States has said they're going to pull all funding to anything that has been funded by the United States that includes DEI. Activision has a joint program with the DOD called the Call of Duty Endowment Program. And I want to be clear. I want to be fully transparent when it comes to this. I know people who have worked with the Call of Duty Endowment Program. And it does good work. It does. I've seen it personally. I've seen it. They put a lot of money into that program, and it does do good work. With that said, I don't know if they receive any funding from the government for this, but I do know that they work with a lot of former military folks. People they help rehabilitate people who have been in battle, who suffer from really bad PTSD. They do really good work. I can't stress that enough. But it does have ties to Activision, which is doubling down on this. And if they do receive money, then the potential of having that funding pulled is a possibility. We'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this. Wicked, let's start with you.
So I guess it funding wise, I agree with that, but I just hate that these companies have to push it so heavily. Like, can't they just hire people based on experience? I know that's something that we've all been pushing for a while. But I'm not surprised that they're doubling down. It's Activision. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't have that much of a take on it because it's just it gets annoying hearing all the DEI stuff, and my stance is just that companies just stop pushing it so heavily.
Mhm.
That's really it. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, hire someone because they're good for the job, not because of how they look. Or,
Right. Seems like such a basic.
Yeah, it seems
idea.
so basic. That's why I'm like, I don't have much to say. It's just very basic take on it. But I mean, it's what makes sense.
Shags, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, essentially a lot of times we beat a dead horse with this sort of thing. These companies are going to say what they're going to say, and they're going to do what they think is right. The only thing we can do as consumers is decide whether or not we want to fork over our money to those things because we believe in it or not, right? We vote with our dollars. And, but this is getting to a point that, again, if all this news is true, then something needs to be done, because having people who are intolerant of others publicly saying things that are, marginalizing others is not where we want to be. And then admitting that we're hiring one group over another, just based solely on characteristics you can't change. Again, it's racist, it's bigoted, in the truest sense of the word. And
but not when they do it, only when we do it.
Right. And it's
pointed out
in 2025 that any single person needs to be told that. I thought we all learned that we shouldn't discriminate based on immutable characteristics.
I learned that in elementary school.
Yeah.
Well, what's been amazing is that we've talked about the divisiveness of the really the activist nature of developers and people who work throughout this industry. I mean, this is a very, very, very progressive industry. Probably the most progressive of all the industries. I mean, let's just be real. It was the first to push a lot of this insanity. It'll be the last one to leave when it comes to that. But we see people who work within the industry who make literally insane statements like this. And this is somebody who works for Activision Blizzard. Guy's name is Kyle Hickey. And Kyle Hickey posted over on their social media, "Kill your local MAGA." Which, I mean, just seeing that, it does kind of take your breath away when you see that. Like, how are we at a point where somebody can say something like that so demonstratively on the internet and feel so brazen to the idea that they'd want to post that on social media to begin with? It's amazing, really. Now, since this has come out, he has since totally, scrubbed his entire social media. He doesn't even have an X account anymore. But what's also interesting about this is the people who have liked this, including Max Davenport, who works for Gearbox. Now, Gearbox is a local company here in the North Texas area. I actually called Gearbox twice this morning because I wanted to get their statement on this. But they're local enough to where I actually think I may drive over there later today and just be like, I would love to get your thoughts on this. Because to me, if you were just to switch that statement and instead of saying kill your local MAGA, say kill your local progressives, the world would fucking explode. Like, nothing about that statement is even remotely okay. And I know we're pointing out the hypocrisy here, but in a situation like this, I think that's something that's fireable. I think you can say there's no room in our company for hate like this.
Oh, that's what they would say if it was switched, like you just said.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo. And
Yeah, like that's real incitement right there. Like telling someone to go do something to someone with a specific label. And MAGA is not even necessarily specific to people. Like I know people who wear a MAGA hat who aren't like crazy. They're just like, I just want my life to be good again. I want my country to be good again. They're not like crazy like MAGA people, you know? So it's a blanket term. It's dangerous to say shit like that because you're actually telling someone to go do the thing. Not okay.
I agree. I think it is 100% an incitement of violence, right?
Yeah.
Like when you say kill X, you know, that's horrendous stuff.
Could you imagine if somebody that was on, you know, the right side said that about someone on the left, that it would be all over. They would lose their job and it would be a big thing. But that guy probably didn't even lose his job.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing is like, I'm not a big fan of like going after people and the whole cancel culture thing. But when you're straight up saying kill these people, that's pretty fucked up. And I don't know. I like people say, oh, well, what I say on social media isn't reflected on my workplace. Well, that is when you say kill this person. Replace MAGA with literally anything else. You know, if he said kill your local white people, kill your local firemen, kill your local black people, like go down the list, create whatever you want, they would be fired instantaneously. And this guy should be fired instantaneously just for liking this. This fucker should be fired immediately from Blizzard. Immediately from Blizzard. This guy should be fired from Gearbox. And Gearbox should come out and say, there is no room for hate in our company. We will not, we do not condone this type of treatment. And I think that people should apply pressure on Gearbox. And they should apply pressure on Blizzard to say, hey, why do you disown this? Or why won't you disown this? Because they should.
You should.
You also, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just agreeing with that. I wonder if, you know, if people push enough, if they're actually going to do something about it, or if they're just going to ignore, and that's going to speak volumes if they do that.
I came to the realization that ultimately, like, we're going to be the ones who are going to need to be pushing on this stuff. We're going to be like, we're not journalists. When I say we're, I literally mean side scrollers, right? Like, I'm going to need to hire some people. And they're going to need, like, that's going to be their job, is to call these companies and just get answers, get direct answers from people. I'm going to need to hire real journalists who want to go in and do some digging and be like, hey, how come you haven't denounced this yet? Why is this person still employed with you? You know, and ask these hard questions because they need to be asked. And until that stuff happens, nothing's going to change. I am not about, like people say, it's not cancel culture, it's accountability culture. This is where you need to be fucking accountable. When you say you should kill somebody, fuck that. Drives me crazy.
I do think the other thing that we have to look at, and this is just me being careful, just like we were saying before about the voice actor, you have to verify if there's a way that these things are true. People will do insane shit to get people canceled or fired because they don't like Activision Blizzard is like persona non grata in the gaming community basically at the moment. Like nobody likes them. They keep slipping up. So to try and pin something on him, it's possible. I'm not saying that they're doing it. But I would like to see it verified, because if it's true, it's unforgivable. He should lose his job. And then if someone's making this up, that's equally as bad. That could cause equal harm to the other person and their family. So, and their well-being.
So we've actually had that conversation. Blabs and I had that conversation before the show, and she's like, hey, why are we sourcing Grums? He's missed a few things, right? And I reached out to Grums personally and I said, hey, like, where did you get this information? How did you source this? And he said it came from two sources. He said 2 different sources. Both one of them was an internal source, and the Facebook profile he personally checked himself before he nuked his Facebook profile. So, before we talked about it, I wanted to make sure we have an idea of it, right? And that's the thing is like, when it comes to using sources and using outlets and such, I think that sometimes people will miss, sometimes people will hit. And I think in a situation like this, I try to take people at their word initially, and if it comes out that this is fake, then we'll say that we fucked up,
Yeah, that's fair.
But this guy has nuked all of his social media, and I don't think that you nuke your social media if this is not fake, if this is not real.
If it was fake, he probably would keep it up and point out that it was fake. So yeah, it definitely makes him look guilty of, just getting rid of everything. Yeah. So it probably seems like it's real.
Yeah. It's a mess, man. It's a mess, and that's not just the space, not just the society that we live in, but the video game industry that we talk about on a day-to-day basis.
Look at people we know personally that we hang out with here on the internet that have gotten fired from gaming jobs just for liking tweets years ago.
Correct. Yeah.
So,
I think of Carolyn.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking of too.
Yeah.
Well, even the recent stuff with Ripaverse, like he came out yesterday and said that he had a dozen or so or more artists signed on. We're working on projects. And then the company called him and said, "Oh, due to some problematic things in the past, we're no longer working with you." And it's like, whoa, like, I mean, even something simple that's like, disagreements or disputes, or, it's silly, man. We can't do anything. Like people who may hold conservative ideologies, you can't do anything without having to look over your shoulder. It sucks.
Yeah.
True.
Well, that is society.
I will say one thing though, just as perspective here. I know, people nuke their accounts when they're suspicious of being guilty, but also when a whole mob is going after them, right?
I would say people private their accounts when a mob is going after them. They don't nuke their accounts.
It depends, it depends. It's not like a blanket statement, but some of them do just nuke it all and be like, whoa, what the fuck's going on here? Bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that in this situation, that's a reactionary thing where, like I said, most people will go private. But I think in a nuking situation like this, I think this is a reaction to being caught.
Yep.
That's just how I read it. So, all right. Magnum North says, "Cheers to the first successful Real Game Awards, but it's unfortunate that a Chinese Communist Party funded company won Game of the Year." Hey, Magnum, I hear you. Doesn't matter what I think. Matters what the voting members think. And I'm just a facilitator, as we said. He said, Magnum also followed up, says, "Are we going to ignore what happened in 2020, 2021, and 2022? Right, that's kind of the idea. Followed up, says that Montez needs to be a Mortal Kombat pit. Well, we have one of those too. Maybe we can hit it tomorrow. Maybe. Joey says, "So since I'm Puerto Rican, does that mean I can get a job as an executive at Disney?" Joey, go after it, my man. Go after it. I love everything about that. And John came into the tent, says, "Craig with the glasses and new haircut calendar win?" You guys want a Craig calendar of me just going like?
I saved it. I removed it. We didn't have to see that.
An AI calendar of Craig.
I didn't want to see it. So.
An AI fireman calendar with Craig with no hat and glasses. Yes.
Just for Shagsworth.
Ladies.
Only Shagsworth.
You know what I'm not going to do? Is I'm not going to get in a fireman outfit ever.
No, AI will do it for you. You just need a picture of your face and we'll do the rest. Yep.
Okay, hold on. Good. Hold on.
He's gonna go to Grok now. Look what you've done.
Yep. I am. Blabs, read off some super chats while I get a picture of me as a fireman.
Jesus Christ. Vagabundo says, "Hello, everyone."
With the hose up in the air and this is, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, shout out Shag, says Vagabundo. Thank you very much. Slay! Every game says playing Final Fight right now as Hagar. Montez! Thank you very much. Tommy says, "Don't you have it in reverse? You don't have chicken in a can. You stick a can of beer in the chicken and grill it all." I don't know. Thank you, Tommy. Gear says, "Ghost pepper cheese flavored single Pringle Ringle full cup." Kind of reminds me of that side, Crullers, that I mistyped. Thank you very much. I don't know if Craig's trying to say something over there. I don't know what this says, but thank you very much for this.
They're loading right now.
Oh dear. Logan says RFK Jr. would be ashamed of all of you.
Hold on. No Pringles for us.
It's important to note that none of those flavors of Pringles have natural flavor of anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's all
Yeah,
chemicals.
they're all plastic.
Okay, hold
Chemicals.
on. Allow me to share listen. I'm glad that Grok has not figured out what my face looks like yet, because this doesn't look like me at all, which is great.
No.
This says, make a picture of me as a fire. Here you go. Make a picture of me as a fireman for a calendar with a big fire hose.
What are you, just a generic middle-aged 40-year-old dude?
Look at that guy right there.
That looks like what's his name?
Apparently, I got old as shit. I look like I'm in my mid-50s right here. That's good.
Generic.
Yeah. You know, hold on. Maybe I'll go back and I'll make myself. I'll do shirt off. Here we go. Hold on.
There you go.
Stand by.
Fireman calendar.
Go ahead, Blabs.
That gross is Blabs groomed me t-shirt, please. Okay. What the fuck?
Don't make it weird.
Yeah, Gear says it's a birthday miracle because the rings of power smells doo-doo. Cheers and happy lunar prosperity. Become the fortunate one. Thank you. I think it's your birthday, so happy birthday if that's the case. Gear says awful person, dumb cat. Right. B. Barrett says every flavor Pringles. Oh, alas, earwax. That's funny. Commodore fan says CNN is going broke and laying off a lot of staff. Slay says you guys skipped my super chat. No, read them.
We'll get them all.
Jamie says, what if Xbox handheld is Switch 2 plus GP?
There you go, Blabs.
Ew.
There you go.
What's wrong with his face? Why is it like a mix of Elon Musk?
I was gonna say, is that Elon?
And Jack Reacher.
I'm sure somebody can Photoshop me in there. There you go.
Why
Look at
That one. Photoshop him into that one.
It's huge.
His head is tiny.
He's
got
the
a big-
size of a truck.
He certainly does has a big ass hose right there. I'll tell you what. Look at that guy over there. That's good. So there you go, John.
No.
Your AI generated calendar. Congratulations. All right, what else, Blabs?
Anime Guy says, MOH 2012 and Warfighter were unjustly mocked. It did after all call the Taliban what they are. Then Russia are bad guys. Number whatever. They're my favorites. Thank you so much.
Can I just say real quick, sorry to interrupt the super chats. Those two games are some of the forgotten gems of gaming, like Xbox 360 days. Like if you haven't played those, go back and play the campaigns. They are so incredibly good. Anyways, back to you.
Okay, this has been a sponsorship from from Shagsworth. All right, Lord says, I want Soul Reaver to be properly remade or continued or anything. The Worthy One says, everyone's favorite early 2000s band, go.
Ooh,
That came out in the early
Sum
One
41.
Republic.
Sum 41.
Nickelback, right? All right.
Oh, I don't know. I can't think
Nickelback's
of one.
great.
Question.
Mine, Blink 182 is probably what I listen to the most of. Then, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Mine would probably go into like the 90s or like mid. I got nothing. It's quote Blabs.
I got nothing. Cookie Don for one says Jet Force Gemini and DK64, and I can't go back to like other games I loved. Maybe Final Fantasy Tactics to play all the way through at least. Thank you very much. Carlos says to Shag's point, exclusive games, especially flagship titles like Super Mario or Halo, were games that the controller was designed around, like Mario 64. Duck Nuck says, Craig, I did not consult you before awarding you this super chat, but you have to accept it because I'm not taking it back. You're welcome.
Duck Nuck, I want to let you know that I'm offended by that. And I don't even appreciate it. How's that? How's that? I don't even appreciate your super chat. Fine.
Mighty Megatron says, for Assassin's Creed Shadows should have taken place in New York City, then it would be definitely be historically accurate. Shit. Cookie Don says, what game did you hate but then liked after giving it a second chance? Kid Icarus Uprising on 3DS for me.
That's a good. What was the question again? What game did you?
What game you liked playing the second time around? Maybe
that you
one of the
didn't like
Lego
the first time?
games.
I don't, man, that's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would say one of the Lego games for me.
Final Fantasy VII was mine, actually. I played like through half of it, didn't quite like it, and then I put it down for like a year and then came back and just like fell in love with it.
Wicked.
I can't think of anything
She's
off
like,
the top
I got
of my head.
nothing.
I feel like I don't really give second chances. Like once I put time into a game, if I don't like it, I'm just like, nah. It's over.
Cool. Magnum says, I love how the women are more offensive than the men here. Correct. Soul Silver says, the most insulting part for me is how much work the put into Minecrafting JP people buy and censored compared to being accurate with Japanese history. Thank you very much. That hurt my head. Cody says, I suspected that it triggers libs that a white man, William Adams, became a samurai and no black people did, so they rally around Yasuke as a Hail Mary. Thank you very much. Magnum says, I don't mean to be antagonistic on all of your streams, Craig. I just out of respect. Kind of.
Well, I appreciate that, Magnum. We appreciate all your support and everything there for sure.
The real radical Reggie says, Raid Vara! She's intervened the Lords of the Fallen dev that did the patch to replace body type with male and female, 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you very much.
I'm actually looking into that right now. I don't even know how to redirect to her. I'm looking on YouTube
Rating
right now.
for dummies.
It's not easy. It's not
No,
easy
it's
to
not.
do.
Here's a question for you guys. Do you know in Dark Souls if there's always been a hormones slider in that game? A friend of mine sent me a screenshot and goes, has there always been a hormone slider in this game? I don't think so. So I don't know if any of you know, or if chat knows, if there's been a hormones slider in that game. Because if it's been an update recently, that is some bullshit.
No.
I have no idea. I've never played it.
Okay.
Can't confirm.
I've never. No. A hormone slider? No,
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before ever.
Bike Short Senpai says, Stuttering Craig? No, Stuttering Brick. That's
Okay.
right, you're a brick now. And Psychotic Mongoose gifted 1 membership. If you got it, please say thank you, Psychotic Mongoose.
Let's go.
And we're caught up.
All right. Is Vera streaming today?
She should be
is she
live.
live right now.
I'll have to look.
It's coming up in right now actually. So I'll tell you what, I do encourage you guys to go over to Vera's channel. I'll put a link to her stuff down in the chat over here on YouTube. There's Vera's stream. And she's going to be doing this interview. So good for her. I love to see that. If you guys want to go check that out, we appreciate you guys popping in. Obviously, we encourage you guys to go check out Wicked's channel and Shag's channel. Links are down below. Please go check them out and go enjoy their stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff. You guys got anything before we wrap?
Anything coming up? I'll be gaming all week, and I actually on my second channel I'm going to be trying a box of international snacks. It's not the Japanese one. I've done that before. I think it's a mix, so that'll be sometime this week, maybe even today. I got to figure it out. So
okay,
look out for that. Snacks.
All right. Customize the live, and there's a redirect option. Go to YouTube. Hold on. I want to figure this out. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I can help you. Yeah, you go to, if you want me to say, just go to the studio. You go to this live in the YouTube studio. And when you hit customize, you look down and you'll see a redirect option, and you can add that way.
So I'm in YouTube studio. What do I do?
Go to this live stream and edit it. Yeah, and then go to customization.
Okay.
And then when the page comes up, there should be redirect, and you can click on that. And yeah, it's kind of easy once you figure it out, but it is annoying when you don't know. I had to have it explained to me as well.
All right, cool. Let's do it. I'll redirect that. Now that we know, we can do that. All right, cool. We're going to get out of here, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Shags, anything you need to know about before we go?
Just come to my channel, subscribe to me. The Midweek Compass tomorrow. I talk about culture, entertainment, movies, video games for about 2 or 3 hours every Wednesday night. Come do it. Love you guys. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Blabs. Wicked, great to see you again. And chat, you guys are awesome. We'll see you next time.
All right, you guys stay here. You're going to be automatically redirected to Vera's stream, I think. Well, hopefully it works out. If not, go check out Vera's stream at Dark Titan Media. Guys, have a great rest of your day. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time when we're back at it again. See ya. Bye-bye.